water. And although the surface of the water might look cleaner, it means it is kind of sinking to the bottom.
Clean-up efforts are ongoing at the Watermeads Nature Reserve, and locals have ventured down to assess the damage.
The Wandle River, my favourite river, it is quite barrenness now of the wildlife that you'd often see. Yeah, and I see at points that they've been desperately trying to clear this village.
To date, a lot of work has gone into restoring life into the river, which in the 60s was called biologically dead. Today, the smell of diesel is still really strong in the air, and you can see the water boons are still on the surface of the river to catch the worst of the diesel. Local MP Bobby Dean has been calling for fines for whoever is responsible.
I wrote to the Environment Secretary, Steve Reed, because I want him to help us coordinate the investigation into this. We've got various stakeholders involved, all with different things to answer questions on. We've got Thames Water, we've got Environment Agency, we've got Transport for London, and they're all doing their own internal investigations, but I'd prefer it if they didn't mark their own homework, if somehow we could bring the accountability process into a central area so we can really hold each of these bodies to account.
Transport for London has confirmed 2 separate investigations are underway into what it's calling a completely unacceptable event. The legacy of this spillage could be felt for years to come. Jessica Yore, BBC London.
Well, the London Museum of Water and Steam has been awarded a grant of over £2.5 million to carry out repairs and continue what's said to be its excellent work. The relatively small museum in Brentford sits on the site of a former pumping station. Alpa Patel has been to take a look.
A glimpse into London's past. But over the last few decades, part of the London Museum of Water and Steam has fallen into disrepair. This money also raises awareness about London's history with clean water and how that came about from the 1830s onwards.
The problem of dirty water in London as it was growing was massive. Cholera and typhoid were endemic across the city. They were killing thousands of people. And this was London's answer. So this is about a story that's arguably never been more relevant than it is today.
So what will over £2.6 million of government cash mean for the museum?
The funding will mean that this building that is slowly falling into disrepair can be renovated. It's one of our prized assets. These are 2 of the largest Cornish engines in the world that are working. We're prestigiously proud of them, but you can see from the surroundings that actually partly about maintenance backlogs because of the expense of managing a building like this, but also because actually the climate has changed. The kind of weather systems that we get now, this building isn't able to cope with it anymore. And so we will be able to completely renovate this. The roof will come off, we'll put a new roof back on, protecting all the walls and therefore the engines inside.
But small museums like this that showcase London's history cannot rely on funding alone. Alpa Patel, BBC London, Kew Bridge.
Now the weather forecast with Matt.
Hello. Well, after getting through most of today dry, the rain is now arriving and it's going to be with us through much of the night as well, becoming heavy and persistent as we go through the night, accompanied by some fairly blustery winds gusting 30, maybe 40 miles an hour in places. It does mean that it's not going to be too chilly for the morning commute, but it will be a damp commute for the early risers in particular. Some heavy bursts of rain to the south and east initially, turning a bit more showery. Skies brighten through the morning, and then through the afternoon, whilst there will be some spells of sunshine, we're going to see batches of showers work their way through. Some of those could be on the heavy side. Pleasant in the sunshine though, temperatures up to around 13 degrees. Overall, the mildest day of the coming week, although it will remain with temperatures around average for this time of year. A little bit of rain, especially on Wednesday, but a lot of dry weather too. Take care.
Well, that's it. And Gary Roslin has just finished her show on BBC Radio London, but then Dotun Adebayo is on your local BBC radio station now with some of his best picks from the past week. I'll be back with our next news at 10:25 on BBC One. For now, have a very good evening.
Hello. We've had a real change of weather fortunes compared with yesterday's fine sunny weather that many of us enjoyed through the afternoon. This afternoon, not so nice. It's been cloudy, wet and windy thanks to this area of low pressure. Some strong winds across western areas of the UK and some large rainfall totals too. Over the hills of Cumbria, we've already had over 100 millimetres of rain And there are concerns with that rain piling up, particularly across southern Wales as we go through the next few hours, that we could see some localised flooding. The Met Office have issued an amber weather warning that remains in force until Monday morning, 50 to 100 millimetres of rain causing the issues. And indeed, over the next few hours, there's a pulse of heavy rain that is set to move in across Wales for a time. All the while, these very strong winds that we have initially to start the night will be quite slow to ease off. So a blustery kind of night, temperatures 7 to 10 degrees. Tomorrow, we pick up on our band of rain across East Anglia, South East England, slow to clear out of the way. Broadly speaking, though, Monday is a day of sunshine and showers. The majority of the showers will be across the northwest of the UK, but nowhere's immune. Many of us will see at least a downpour during the day. It will stay mild, temperatures 10 to 13 degrees Celsius. And then looking at the outlook over the next few days, there'll still be a few more showers to come through on Tuesday. Wednesday, it looks like we'll see an area of thicker cloud bringing more general rain across the country. But then high pressure might actually build in towards the end of the week, settling our weather down and giving us a drier, sunnier spell. That's the latest. Bye-bye.
Disinformation. There is no climate change. You think you're winning.
The pandemic wasn't real.
Fooling people in the most sophisticated ways.
The Met Police. Social media posts.
You fueled hate and confusion. And you make our job seem almost impossible.
Fake news.
Almost. You see, it's because of you we get up in the morning and work through the night, all over the world. The more you try to drown out reality, the harder we'll work to verify the facts. We will find your sleights of hand and expose them. So no matter how hard it gets, we'll never give up. We'll be watching. We'll be ready. It's the pursuit of truth that gives us our calling. The fight for truth is on.
We gotta get out of here. Now! Just put the gun down! Tracy, you alright?
This baby's coming! He's coming!
An explosive EastEnders. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Every murder has its moment of origin. When the murder is seeded, it's point zero.
You want me to spend our honeymoon with your ex-wife?
Under my roof.
Insult, injury, grievance.
You people, you think the world is your playground.
A festering wound.
Vipers.
Drawing us, unwitting, towards zero.
Brand new, Towards Zero, starts next Sunday at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Decisions are made that will affect lives in Call the Midwife tonight here at 8:05. Now, feet up for our Sunday jaunt
Six Nations special.
Hi everyone, Vernon here, and this one is for everyone in a world of laundry. I do hope this one helps get those creases extra sharp. Here we go.
Join me on BBC Radio 2 to make every day less every day. Listen on BBC Sounds.
There's a charging point literally down the road.
Please don't mansplain.
That is not mansplaining.
Oh, so now you're mansplaining.
I'm going to be late for football.
Hashtag me too.
It's not what hashtag me too.
Brand new Amandaland. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
Do not screw with me.
We've just been thrown into the Hunger Games.
You bring the passion, they bring the power. A look at the big matchups now on BBC Two.
Discover unique stories.
The arts tell us the contentious story of us.
History is lit up by young people who act on instinct, including a young man called Nelson Mandela.
Once everyday objects, these treasures are bringing the past to life.
Only on the BBC. Watch on iPlayer, listen on Sounds.
Thought-provoking, passionate programming. This is BBC 4.
Before exploring the Humber, go on baby animal missions with Andy's Global Adventures on iPlayer and explore nature with Martha Carney and a host of guests, including Kujfa's very own Hamza Yassin. This Natural Life. Listen on Sounds.
This is the Americas. Wild and the wonderful. It is shocking. And it's beautiful. There's magic to be found. It's Earth's great supercontinent. Well, that seems promising.
The Americas starts next Sunday at 6:45 on BBC One and iPlayer.
A new decade brings change to Poplar.
I'm your midwife. The more you tell me, the more I can help you. It was everything. Everything this job was meant to be.
Call the Midwife continues tonight at 8:05 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Our midwives back here on BBC One after their week off in an hour. Hiya, Kate here with you live tonight, hoping for some cracking valuations from the Roadshow. Now.
Do you want to open a nightclub?
My club is going to be the best in London.
Vice will not be tolerated.
Soho is my land.
We are going to make this club work.
Dope Girls. Press red for all episodes on BBC iPlayer.
We got to get out of here. Now! Just put the gun down! Tracy, you all right?
This baby's coming. He's coming!
An explosive EastEnders. Watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Secrets revealed by Miss Austen in an hour are still powerful enough to pull on the heartstrings today, as are the cases faced by our midwives now.
Continues on BBC Two at the earlier time of 6:30. Feel the spring clean coming on? Stacey Solomon is back with the new series of Sort Your Life Out. Watch now on iPlayer. Genetic shocks and surprises on BBC Sound's new podcast, DNA Trail. The Promise. Listen now.
1, 2, 3. It's one of the biggest privileges to help people the way we do.
I have to believe that things are going to get better.
Life is fragile. Things can go wrong very quickly.
If something unexpected or untoward happens, everyone's looking to you to fix it.
Surgeons at the Edge of Life starts Wednesday at 9 on BBC Two and iPlayer.
Every murder has its moment of origin. When the murder is seeded, it's point zero.
You want me to spend our honeymoon with your ex-wife?
Under my roof.
Insult, injury, grievance.
You people, you think the world is your playground.
A festering wound.
Vipers.
Drawing us, unwitting, towards zero.
Brand new, Towards Zero, starts next Sunday at 9 on BBC One and iPlayer.
See the weekend out with a classic. Robert Redford, Dustin Hoffman, All the President's Men in an hour. First, clues to a Victorian killer, BBC Two investigates, with scenes some of you may find upsetting.